Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the Manchester United Arsenal podcast, where we discuss all things Manchester United, all things Arsenal. In regards to Manchester United, we're always a news story. But will Lenny Yoro be fit for the Europa League final? He was seen pictured today, video today of him training, but he was training alone. Of course, reports came out yesterday as well, stating that the board are going to back Amorim and sacking him is the last thing on their mind. Unfortunately, Manchester United do have a Premier League game on Friday versus Chelsea. It means nothing. It's all about that Europa League game. Literally, yeah, it's next week actually, because it's the 21st. So literally 7 days away from that Europa League final. In regards to Arsenal, they're chasing down second place, but because teams around them drop points, their Champions League place is pretty much secured. So all eyes are now on the transfer window in regards to Arsenal. Will Zubimendi improve them? We'll be having that discussion as well. Who else do they need to sign? Who else do they need to get rid of? Is it last chance saloon for Arteta, or if he does finish top 5 again and gets Champions League, will he still be in charge? So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United or Arsenal related. And before I get to it, Tony is not here for this one. He did message me beforehand, so he isn't running. He hasn't got his track shoes on. He had his track shoes on after PSG, though. I won't defend him on that. And we gonna get him. He thinks we forgot about the PSG defeat, because both TJ and Dunsey were here after that. And Tony, you know, he had his running shoes on. He had his track shoes on. That's what he did. But let me bring in the Arsenal mob anyway. TJ is in the building. Dunsey is in the building. What you man telling me? You man good?
I'm great, man. I'm fantastic. I think Tony still is going to have a lot to answer for. I have, unlike some Arsenal fans, I have a long memory. So I will make sure to be holding him to account when he comes. Big up the chat. Big up Don C. I'm really looking forward to talking about the Zubimendi business. And also talking about this Manchester United and Spurs final and how I win no matter what. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that as well. But big up Flawless. Big up Don C. Let's go. I'm excited.
Don C, what are you telling me, family? You good first and foremost?
Yeah, man. Big up. I'm all good, brother. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Big up the Sarcasm citizens. TJ, my brother. Big up. Cheers. Because we're always here. This goes out to you as well, just because I want my agenda to agenda rise. Yeah. Yeah. So just do your thing next week, but we'll talk about that. Chat, big up, and all the rest of it. Yeah. I was looking for Tony. Still couldn't find him. It is what it is.
He'll be. Yeah, he'll be here. Well, whether we do a show on the weekend or whether we do a show, obviously next week at some point. I'm not sure when. We have not looked at next week's schedule. We will definitely. Oh, we catching up with Tony. He thinks we gonna forget now. I ain't gonna forget. Definitely not. I'm definitely not gonna forget. But big up to everyone that's locked in. Love, I see you lot in the chat already. Please make sure though, whether you're watching this live right now, watching this back, pay the tax when you enter the city. Hit the like button on the video. So important you do that. Make sure you share this out across all the socials. And that's Be Flawless at Sarcasm City TV, at Sarcasm City TV, and that's Be Flawless on Twitter and Instagram. And you can see across the bottom of the screen as well on the banner, people. Only 117 subscribers to 15,000. So we're only 117 away. We are closing in on 15K, people. That is the journey we are on. The countdown is continuing. So we are going to get to 15K. So please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you haven't. And on top of that, subscribe to TJ's channel, TJ Warren TV. The link is in the title. Click the link, opens up a new tab. You can go subscribe to TJ's channel over there. Big up to Dazza in the chat. Big up Connor in the chat as well. Big up Ryan in the cut also.
No, absolutely not.
I said forget about that, yo. I was just trying to be nice. Connor, no rush, man. Get over to me tonight or tomorrow, either or, people. And if you need a logo, people, make sure you reach out to Connor at CMO Editing as well. JT, big up to you also. But you mentioned being excited about the signing. So TJ, we'll start with you. Zubimendi. That deal got
I'm not excited. I'm not excited about that signing at all. I don't care. No, okay. No. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about.
I apologize. I stand corrected.
I'm actually more excited to talk about the United, what's going on with United, than I am to talk about Arsenal. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Because and here's why. Because I looked up the Zubimendi news before I got here and where everything is at. Thomas Partey wants to stay. He doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. He wants to stay in North London. Outside of any sort of pending legal woes, I think that Arsenal fans are happy with his performance on the pitch. I know I was this past season. He was actually able to stay somewhat healthy as well, which I think is a big reason why I would want him to stay. He's consistent, arguably our best midfielder throughout the season. Now, Zubimendi, what does Zubimendi really provide? Like he's slotted in for the Spain team with Rodri out. He's done a good job there, but he's due his stinkers at Sociedad. Like recently, he had a really, really bad match. And not that I watched it, but I heard about it enough on Twitter to be like, hey, is this really a guy that we want to buy? And why are we prioritizing another DM, another one, when we have problems on the left wing? We have problems at striker, obviously. We have creative midfielder problems, and we have serious depth problems on our back line. Like, why are we prioritizing this? That is my big issue. Like, don't get me wrong. Zubimendi is a quality player. He's an international. We could use the cover given the fact that we have a conga line to the infirmary half the season. I'm not questioning the depth. I'm not questioning that. I'm questioning the priority. Like, I want to be educated. So anybody in the chat that watches La Liga regularly, watches Sociedad, because I don't, give me a reason to be happy about this, because I don't think Zubimendi exponentially improves the midfield unless he decides he wants to become a 10 all of a sudden, which he is not.
Yeah.
So unless we're out there looking for a 10, like a Florian Wirtz, who's now flirting with Liverpool, like, I don't want to hear about any sort of midfield signings. I don't like. If anybody wants to prove me wrong, let me go. And Kaneki, I saw your comment. Perfect comment. 60 million to replace Jorginho. Yeah, how many games did Jorginho play this season? It was negligible. We could have played an academy kid for what he does. I don't even remember a game this season where he really made an impact. Really made an impact. So it's one of those things where, I want to be proven wrong, but I'm not as excited about it as I am about Gyökeres rumors or any top European left wing we might be related to or we might be linked to. So,
Fez, what are you saying, Duncy, in regards to Zubimendi?
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't give a shit if we sign him or not, to be honest.
This is why I love this guy, man.
What do you want to say, bro? You know what? Yeah, it'll be typical fucking Arteta. Yeah, if we only sign Zubimendi in the summer, it will be typical Arteta. Yeah, it's like those who are creaming over Zubimendi. Yeah, this is what's wrong with my club. This is what's wrong with Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, one of the biggest highlight. Yeah, is Arsenal need a striker, But guess who's popping up in the Arsenal fan base? A fucking midfielder, yeah. And a midfielder that's not even better than Partey. Are you crazy? Hey, bravo, yeah. You know what, yeah? You see Arsenal, right? If you ever have an argument with anyone, yeah, or you're just sad in life, just look at Arsenal transfers.
But it's hysterical.
So when Havertz and Moreno get injured next season, Zubimendi's gonna play.
They go top. Yeah, but Zubimendi gonna play the night. I can see that. I see that.
Oh my god! Oh shit! I feel like it's killing me, man. Do you know what? Yeah. Oh shit! And all I've been hearing is that, yeah, man, Zubimendi is bad, man. Fucking hell. All right, Arsenal fans. You know what, yeah? Do you know what, yeah? Please At my funeral, yeah, you got to play an Arsenal track or something.
Play North London Forever as the funeral march because we're fucking done out here, bro.
Oh shit. Okay, so yeah. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I haven't laughed this much, right? Do you know what? Right? You know, sometimes if you can't cry, you got to cry with laughter.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to cry with laughter, yeah, just know that a club that's been calling out, no, the fans that's been calling out for a striker for 4 or 5 years now, yeah, get linked with another midfielder. That's not better than the midfielders we got now in Arsenal fashion.
And people are bigging him up too. That's the worst part. Is that like all the top gooners are out there being like, "Oh man, he's gonna be the answer to our prayers." He knows Arteta knows he plays in a 4-3-3 already. Like he could slot in there. He'll be great. It's just like you don't know that. You don't know that at all. They said the same thing about Fabio Vieira. Okay,
they did say the same about Calafiori as well, to be honest.
And Calafiori, and by the time we shipped Vieira back to Portugal, he was playing on the wing. Like all preseason last season, I was there. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Arteta was playing him where Saka was playing. He was back there. He was in there filling in for Saka because Saka was at the Euros and he didn't want to play Winieri the entire time. Like this guy's a fucking joke, dude.
Mate,
joke.
Mate, this is why I have to laugh at this shit, bro. Because it's like, okay, can you imagine us lining up? Yeah. Can you imagine Arsenal's midfield lining up? We'll have, right, our attacking 6 players, all midfielders. Can you imagine that? Literally, can you imagine that? Yeah,
you could.
It's disgusting because it's like, if we bought Zubimendi as the last transfer of the window, after we get a striker, a 10, a winger, the players that you can see that we actually need, then do you know what, right? I'll be like, do you know what? It's been a great window, right? But we've been crying out for a striker for so many years, and we're linked with a fucking midfielder. That's pathetic. It's like, do you know when you know your season has gone from bad to worse, and the next season hasn't even started yet? This is what I've got to take going into next season. So do you know what? Yeah, before all the banter come by Christmas, I'm always just laugh and enjoy the stream while I can now. Yeah, because if this is how if this is what we're linked with at the start of this or at the start of next season, for the start of next season, come on, man. Arteta, just get out of my club. Yeah, do the rest. Do us good, wholehearted. Yeah. Negative Arsenal fans a favor. Just get out. Have some dignity, please. You know what I'm saying? Do Tony and just disappear, please.
Hey, Tony, you got to hold that still. That's on you, man. And that is track shoes. But you mentioned it there, Dante, about if Zubimendi was a signing after, I say, a striker, for instance, other players you may need. So, Gyökeres, you've been linked to him. Obviously, nothing concrete yet. Is that a signing you look at and go, yeah, Gyökeres, I like that? Or would you have reservations in terms of his playing style? Because people have said most of his goals and most of his better moments come from running in behind, where at Arsenal, you're going to be facing teams who do defend deeper.
Yeah. I'll be a lot more excited. Okay, is there better strikers out there that I'll prefer? Yeah, of course I would. But we're a club that doesn't have a striker. We're a club that doesn't have the movement of a striker. Let's just say the closest thing we have that's fit is, I'll say, Martinelli, right? And he's clearly not good enough to lead our club. When a team is playing deep, right? This is when a player like Gyökeres should actually earn his money. You get me? The type of style, okay, the type of football that we play, we actually close up the field. We make the field look very small. Yes. Very small. Yeah. So what it is now is the fact that I will prefer someone like an Isak, but that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I prefer. It's just having a striker. It's just having someone pull a defender out the way instead of having what we have that are like fucking statues. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is it better than the devil that you know? Of course it is, because we don't know what it's like to have a striker. So just to have someone just to lead the line, someone just to make movements when it's going to be tough, when they're playing a bank of five, when they're playing a club like United, which is only going to try and hit us on a counter attack and stuff like that. Yeah, they're hopefully that's a team that's a player that's gonna make the difference. You know what I'm saying? Because all we have is Moreno, all we have is Havertz. Yeah, and even worse, we have Jesus. Yeah, someone that's never fit.
Yeah, I forgot about Jesus.
And even when he is fit, yeah,
it's easy to do.
He's not getting us 10 goals this season in the league.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? He's a link-up man. Yeah. And as a link-up man, that's good. If you want to party with man, yeah, you bring out Jesus. If you want man to actually take life serious, yeah, you get a gunman. That's where it is. I want someone that's going to get me minimum. When I say minimum 17 goals in a league. Yeah. If they can't do that, then what's the point of even looking at any kind of striker? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because okay, let's check this here. Arsenal's highest goal scorer is probably Havertz, and he's got on. I think he's on 9 goals, 9 or 10 goals in the league.
10 goals.
Yeah, 10 goals. Right.
He's been injured, and he's been injured half the season.
And he's been injured half the season, bro. And check this year. We have lost 21 goals. I mean, 21 points from winning positions. Yeah. 21 points. Now, if you calculate those 21 points, how many points will we be on? My calculations, will be 84.
Title winning. Let me add 21 points into your title.
That's the difference. Last season, what's the difference? Like, we all know when we've like, okay, let's not sugarcoat it now. Yeah, Arsenal shit and all of that. Let's
89 points. If you add 21 points to your current total, it's 89.
Yeah, 89. Sorry, 89. Yeah. Right. If okay, to take all the narrative out of it now, the last few seasons, yeah, when we've lost points, what was the difference? A striker. Where we couldn't break teams down, when we needed that clinical person, clinical, where we needed that man to make that run into that, just into that space. If not just into that space, drag a defender. Because tell me this, if we got Gyökeres, who do you think people are actually scared of, Gyökeres or Havertz?
Yeah.
There you go. Because Gyökeres will actually make movements. So that actually leaves gaps and holes for other players. This is why I said, if we got Gyökeres, is he my first choice? No. But is he better than what we have? Yes. Yeah. And if we was linked to him, I'll be a lot happier. I want to be laughing at the fact that we're getting him. But I have to laugh at the fact that we could possibly get that fucking midfielder that's not better than what we have. So what's the point?
You're spot on, bro. And I just want to add, there's really not much else I can add to Don C because you put it perfectly. The key word here is clinical. There are so many opportunities where we needed clinicality from Jesus, we needed clinicality from Kai Havertz, namely against you frauds twice this season, and we didn't get it. We went out against you guys in the FA Cup because Havertz couldn't hit an open net.
Yeah,
like these are the moments.
Crazy.
And Odegaard missed that penalty too.
Yeah, and these are the moments. Yeah, and I mean, there are a ton of other individual. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, because we needed a reminder.
Yeah, man, it was a visual aid for the people. Them just in case forgot, man. I'm just trying to do the best for the show, man. That's all.
Yeah, I apologize for stopping you. You're a service to the You're a service to the community, Flawless. I'll tell you that.
Thank you, man. I agree, man. Thank you.
You absolute fraud. Anyway, so no, my whole thing is we need clinicality and we need people that can provide in big moments. Gyökeres has shown time and time again that he can do that. Playing out of Portugal, playing for a Sporting side that is not necessarily built to win in Europe, but compete in Europe. And he has shown in the league stage in particular, again, that Man City game comes to mind, that he can be that guy that can be a huge difference maker up top. And we need that person. Is he my number one striker choice from what's available? Honestly, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because just for what Don C said, people are going to be watching him. He can drag people out of position. Maybe he can even stay on side, which is a huge problem that we run into with Gabriel Jesus and Havertz. I'm very, very excited to see how he positions himself on the back line and see if he can beat some defenders and get in and score. Because we don't currently have anybody in the number 9 that can do that. We're not looking at Moreno to do that. We're not looking at Havertz or Jesus to do that, or Trossard to do that, because Trossard's going to be playing in the 9 the rest of the season. Great. I can't wait for that visual sedative. Anyway, no, just to believe and just to hammer home the point.
Yeah.
Bring me Gyökeres. I don't want to hear about any central midfielders anymore. Talk to me about a striker, or don't talk to me. Okay? Seriously, I'm done with it. Happy birthday, Sheik.
Thank
I
you.
was gonna
Appreciate it.
welcome Sheik
Thank
to
you.
the show. Big up Sheik for the raid. Everyone in the chat, whether you wished him a happy birthday or not, wish Sheik another happy birthday, people. Happy birthday again to you, Sheik. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. The link's in the title. Let's get him over 1K. So Sheik TV and TJ Warren TV, both links are in the title. Please make sure, whether you're watching this live right now, watching this back, subscribe to them both. And happy birthdays in the chat for Sheik as well, please. And Sheik, you know what?
We'll go. 1 second. Can I just say something quick? I didn't realize that was Sheik here. I thought Tony done a Michael Jackson thing, bro. I was thinking
don't see that. Gonna let it go, yo. Yeah, gonna let it go.
No, we will not forget. We will not forget.
Yeah, rightfully so. Rightfully so. You should let it go. But yeah, Sheik, you know what? Your thoughts on Arsenal getting Zubimendi before we move over to Manchester United? We'll get your thoughts quickly.
Yeah. Also, just wanted to echo real quick what Don C just said. Tony, don't run. We're waiting for you. It doesn't matter if the stream is after 3 months, or if it's after a year, or if it's after 5 years. We will hear your thoughts, and we will hear what you have to say, and you are going to hold the smoke, because all the time when you're here, and when all our clubs, and we are always here as well, you have so much to say. But now that the talk is out, I have massive respect for Don C and for TJ as well, and for all these other Arsenal content creators, because one thing they didn't do was hide. And when you're here, I hope Flawless can send me the link as well, because we need to talk. We need you know how it's, where is the justice for Havertz? How about we just say, where is Tony? Let's just start off with that. Where is Tony? We need the stars align for Tony to show up. That's what we need. The stars need to align for Tony to show up. But yeah, blessed for having me on, of course, Flawless. Big up to everyone. Make sure you guys are running up the likes and subscribing, of course, to Flawless, getting him to 15K and all of that, and supporting everybody else. But yeah, on the Zubimendi news, I think one, it's not a shocker, because they were linked with him since January. Basically, funny thing, after they lost to us in the FA Cup, that's where we first heard about it, and that's where we were like, oh, Zubimendi's being linked to Arsenal and all those type of things. One thing I will say about Zubimendi, and I've been saying this for a while, is that when we played against him with Real Sociedad in the Europa League, the guy just didn't move me as a player. And what I mean by that is that I don't think, and this is what Arsenal currently do need at this moment, and not saying that he can't turn into this player depending on the midfield that he's playing in, depending on the players that are around him as well. You need needle movers, you need game changers, you need difference makers. And I think that's the biggest thing that Arsenal need to go for. No surprise that they've signed a midfielder before they've signed an attacker, because clearly they need an attacker. But yeah, it's just like Zubimendi. We'll see what he turns out to be. I'm a little bit on Zubimendi fraud watch, to be honest, because he played against a pivot of Bruno and Casemiro and couldn't do anything at all. And that was a little bit concerning for anybody who is a fan of Zubimendi. But obviously, it's going to be a completely different environment. This is this stage of his career where now he has a point to prove, where now he's on, the big lights and all that stuff that we do like to say. And the biggest task that he has is to get Arsenal a trophy at this moment. Because they are struggling. This manager is struggling to do that with this club for 5 years, major honors for 21 years, and all that type of stuff. So, Zubimendi as a player, like I said, he doesn't really move me. Just haven't really seen too much from him as a player where I'm just like, okay, Zubimendi is that guy and he can, make a difference and all of that. But I think it's really important what they do for the rest of the team. And I think it's really important what they do if he is that person that they're trying to build around, or if he is that person where they're like, okay, we got this midfielder in. How is that going to affect Declan Rice? How is that going to affect all these other midfielders? And that's just something that we're going to find out. If they wanted to go for a midfielder, I personally would have gone for a creative player, because I think Odegaard in the season that he's had, and also, the captain and all of those type of things, the conversations that people have been having, it's a little concerning because, he's had the 2 seasons that he's had. And then obviously in the year where you could have done something, he hasn't showed up in big games where, he could have, just like that United game that we just mentioned. If he scores that penalty, you go through in the FA Cup, and who knows where you go from there. And it's just stuff like that. And I know he's had injuries and he's been out for a while, but just the performances haven't been anywhere near good enough. And now that's an issue. There's people in your team that you could have played over him at times, like Ethan, but the manager just refuses to play him, especially in those latter stages of the season. So I think what Arsenal do need at this moment, if they are going to go out there and get a striker, even though Gyökeres, that's the striker that they're linked with, quality player. I mean, his GNA this season, just, I don't know what you can say other than that. He is someone who I think can be a difference maker, where if you want to bring him off the bench at a certain time where you're not able to get a goal, I think he can go and get a goal. He can create his own goals. He's just that type of player. And it's going to be, honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's going to be scary. If you put him in that front three, forget about Martinelli, but him and just Saka, combining with the crosses that Saka always tries to play in the box and all that type of stuff, Saka is now going to get a poacher. And it's gonna be, it could be scary. But I think Arsenal's biggest thing is, you need to, the attack is it. Like, how many years have we been saying that Arsenal need an attacking player? How many years have we been saying if they signed a striker, and even in that first season that they challenged, that they possibly could have won the league? Last season, if they signed a striker, and if it wasn't Havertz just week in, week out, they possibly could have won a league. So it's now obviously due time that they're doing it. Now, I've heard a little bit of reports that, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently Arteta wants Sesko and Berto wants Gyökeres. And there's been a little bit of a clash between both of them. And I don't know how true this is, but we're going to see this happen. And we're going to see, I think there will eventually be a moment where they are going to clash in terms of what they want. And we know how Arteta is as a figure at this club too. Like, he's like father Arsenal or whatever in the last couple of years. But Arsenal needs to go out there and get they need to go out there and get attacking players, attacking midfielders, strikers, a left winger, possibly. I know Rodrigo's been linked and all these other guys have been linked. So they need to go out there and do it. And I mean, personally, it's due time. I don't think I would have probably waited this long for this to happen. And if I was an Arsenal fan, just like TJ and Doncy, I'd probably be Arteta out as well, because it's absolutely unacceptable the way how you guys have been so close to it. And just because of his decisions, you've missed out. Like letting go of Emile Smith-Rowe and Reece Nelson at the start of the season, even though whether you rate them as a player or not, those are options that you can bring on against PSG. Those are options that you can bring on against us in the Man United game. There are options that you can bring on against Newcastle in those cup games. And I think that's where, his decisions have cost him missing out on a single trophy, not just the big one, the Premier League or the Champions League, but just a single trophy for this time. And it's also like maybe why Arsenal haven't been winning and why there hasn't been a winning mentality in this team. It's just because they haven't won a trophy 4 or 5 years. These guys don't know what it tastes like to be a champion. So that's really that. We'll see how the window goes and all that type of stuff, because it's going to be a crazy summer, a surgical summer, like Pusha T said. But yeah, man, it's going to. We'll see what does happen.
No, just to piggyback off your point though, but that's what we wanted out of Berta. That's what we like. Yeah. If we brought in Sesko, honestly, I would have been pissed, because Sesko is just another young project that he's going to try to develop.
He's not.
Dude, Gyökeres has shown that he can provide in those big moments, like I just said. So the fact that Berta wants somebody that's already proven, that doesn't need a ton of development, yeah, it's going to take him a minute to grow into the squad, of course. But a guy that can actually hit the ground running and produce in big moments, like I haven't seen that out of Sesko. Like so the fact that Berta is already kind of being that conflict, that putting up walls to just the Arteta project delusion, I like him already.
Yeah, I hear you, and I want that for our club. Like at this moment, because me and Flawless, like we've been talking about it on shows and all of that type of stuff. Oh, look who it is in the chat. Look who it is.
Oh, he says, big ups,
the man, the myth, the legend.
He says, big ups, my people. Smash the likes and remember to subscribe. Currently traveling in the mist today. We'll see you peeps next week. Smash the likes. So therefore,
you've been traveling for like 2 weeks now, mate. Where you at, brother? Where you at? I hope you're safe and I hope you enjoy your travels, yeah? because you're getting a cooking when you come back. Yeah, I will tell you this right now, Tony. Yeah, you ran away, brother. You
Don't go
ran away.
anywhere.
I
Don't go
thought you had
anywhere.
our
Don't
backs,
go
yeah.
anywhere.
But
Don't
it
go
seems like
anywhere.
me and TJ against the world, yeah, yeah. The Blues Brothers for real.
For real.
Now on a real though, Tony, hey man, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. No worries. Take as much time as you want. But when you do show up, we don't want no cameras turning off. We don't want this and that. We want you there in 4K. So yeah, man. Actually says Walt flight takes 2 weeks.
Baza.
Hey, he's going to the
Baza.
moon. He's going to the moon. He's going into space to see if the stars are still aligning. So I hear it. I hear it. But big up to
No,
Tony.
that's right.
Hopefully everything is okay.
Big up,
all is
Tony,
okay.
yeah.
So,
And shout out Dan Potts for the raid. Make sure if you've not subscribed to 12th Man, Potts is doing great work over there as well. That's why, you know, you got people trying to call him out and all this nonsense. So shout out to Potts every single time, yo. I know you keep your head up, Potts, man, and keep doing your thing. Don't let any of that nonsense distract you. So I appreciate it. Everyone who's joined over from the raid, United Arsenal show. I'm presuming Potts was either talking Arsenal or it was a mixed show. So please keep all your comments, questions, Manchester United or Arsenal related. Please make sure everyone in the chat subscribe to TJ Warren TV and Sheik TV. Both links are in the title. For everyone who joined over from the raid, both links are in the title. You just click the link, opens up a new tab, and you can subscribe to both their channels. And as you can see from the banner on the bottom of the screen as well, only 117 subscribers away from 15,000 people. The countdown is on. The countdown is continuing. Please hit the subscribe button on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube channel right here to get us to 15K. Big milestone on the horizon. So make sure you subscribe if you are indeed new. And of course, if you're enjoying the content as well. So big up Potts for the raid again. But TJ, we'll go to you because you mentioned it right at the start of the show about the Europa League final, Spurs versus Manchester United, how you win either way. So further elaborate on that and then overall thoughts as well. And of course, we'll go to Dunsey and Sheik as well.
I don't think there's any way you lose. Just due to the Spurs are number one, they're terrible. Number two, the quality in their squad, if it could be any more diminished, it is actually more diminished than normal. Like they do have key injuries in key areas in the midfield as they're talking about Son coming back, but Son wasn't that good before he went off injured. So I just don't think, like, all the Tottenham Hotspur fans that I've been talking to on WhatsApp and all these freaking weirdos that are acting like they've already won, you're not going to win. But if Tottenham does win, I get to watch a meltdown within the Tottenham Hotspur fan base that will be box office. And what I'm talking about is the Ange in versus Ange out conversation. Unless this guy and if I was Ange and I won a trophy, I would stay. I would be like, I'm not going anywhere. You guys are paying me these big money. I told you exactly what I was going to do. I was going to win a trophy in my second year here, and now I'm here. So now you have half the fan base that are excited and ecstatic that they finally won a trophy for the first time in what, 17 years? First trophy in 17 years, and then you're also competing with the same guy who got 20 losses in the fucking league, and there are still 2 games to go. This is box office shit. We are going to see a meltdown in the Tottenham Hotspur fan base that will be absolutely insane. You think Jacob is bad now? If Jacob wins that trophy, oh my days. He's going to be such a hurricane in this space. I might have to get out of the way. I'm not going to lie. I might have to go on vacation. I might have to pull a Tony. I'm not going to lie. I might have to pull a Tony, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, Manchester United win, Tottenham don't win. So I don't have to hear about Tottenham winning a trophy and Arsenal bottling it in phase 6 or phase 5 or whatever we're in. Man United scamming a trophy, that's just like taxes coming. You know, you have to pay taxes every year. Man United scam a trophy every year. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter how bad your season is. You guys will scam something. You'll get to a final. You'll do so. It's absolutely insane how you guys can do it. You guys are scam artists. It should be studied. I'm dead serious. Anyway, but yeah, no, that's why I'm saying I win every. I'm going to be upset either way. It doesn't really matter. Me and Don C are still going to be sitting here talking about the fact that we're bringing in another midfielder when we should be talking about left wingers and strikers, and we're going to bottle it again. Well, not even bottle it. We're going to be competing again next season with no definite direction towards the top spot in the Premier League. Liverpool are already reloading with their Prem winning manager getting players that he actually wants, and people are just writing that off in our fan base. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. But yeah, to stay focused on the Europa League final, I just don't think that they have the players to compete with you. Bruno Fernandes, as much as he's a rat and I can't stand him, he shows up in those big matches. He's going to come in there. He's going to be a force. He's actually going to lead these guys. And yeah, you guys have Kobe Mainu, Diallo. Like, yeah, I don't think it's really, I don't even think Amorim can fuck this up, to be honest. I really don't.
It might be a hold my beer thing. I don't put nothing past that, man.
I can't even say that confidently. I can't even say that confidently.
Go to you, Sheik, man. Thoughts on the final, because I already know Don C's thoughts. United, you better win, you pussy holes. That's pretty much it.
Well said.
See, unlike you, Flawless, who you have both teams winning, so it's like either way you win, depending on whatever the result is. Unlike you, I'm not in that case, and I mean, like, the final is, look, it shouldn't be a thing where, like, we win the final and then we all of a sudden forget about how this season has gone. I don't think there's, like, you can't forget about how this season has gone. Only 6 wins since he's joined. And 6 of those wins, probably like 4 or 5 of those wins have been relegation sides. So it's a very, very worrying thing going into next season. I always say this time and time again, just like TJ said, we have somehow scammed our way to another final yet again. Yes. We've had a terrible season, a worse one than last year, but we have somehow now scammed our way to another final. It's crazy. We've been in 12 finals, Flawless? Like, there's a stat like that we've been in 12
I think it's 10 finals in 10 years or something like that.
10 finals in 10 years.
Ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
I think it's 4 in the last 3. I think it's 4 finals in the last 3 years.
And then if you actually look at the league, where I feel like the league is where you can determine if your team has been progressing or not in terms of consistent games week in, week out, we have failed at every front. We have failed. This year, we have failed expeditiously. Like, I say this all the time. Last year, if you asked me at this same time, going into the FA Cup final, Sheik, Flawless, Eddie Kaneki, next year, you're going to be sitting in 16th in a Europa League final, I would have laughed at you. I probably would have blocked you. I probably would have blocked you. I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed at you, and I would have blocked you. And the fact that this is now a reality is absolutely insane. And then we have people in our fan base who are kind of being acceptant of, like, they're accepting this and saying that, oh, well, look at how things have gone and all of that type of stuff. No, it's an absolute shit show from top to bottom, from the people who are upstairs all the way down to the manager, all the way down to the players. Everyone is at fault, equally at fault, when it comes to how our season has gone. And, we win this Europa League, we get into the Champions League, and boy, let me tell you about this. If we are in the Champions League next season with this squad, we could probably have a worse season than we did last year in the Champions League.
36th place, man. Whatever it is. Is there 36 teams? 36th place, man.
Something like that. So top 24, listen, top 9, forget about it. Don't even think about top 9. There's no such thing called top 9. Top 24, forget about that too. Because look at the quality of teams that you do have in the Champions League as compared to the Europa League. Now, I'm not saying undermining all these teams in the Europa League, but as bad as we have been this year, we've slapped up Sociedad at home. We've slapped up Lyon. We've slapped up Bilbao. We scored 7 goals against Bilbao, a team that probably conceded 6 to 7 goals in 3 months or in 2 months. And somehow we have scored 7 goals against them in 2 games. And we're about to get a big, big reality check when we do go into the Champions League, if we do end up winning this Europa League. And if anything, this puts massive, massive pressure on, more pressure on Ruben Amorim to hit the ground running next season. And this puts more pressure on Ineos to go out there and get the players for him, even though I don't necessarily agree that You need to go out there and get players for him. And the reason why I also mentioned why Arteta and Berta thing, that is something that we're going to possibly have at our club, because I want our board to be Berta. I want our board to stop him and be like, no, what if this thing doesn't work out? We need to be scouting for the future. We need players who are talented. I don't want us to go out there and buy 6 to 7 players who can only play in a back three system, and then we sack Ruben Amorim by October and November, and we're in the same issue yet again. Same thing. Where now we're going to go out there and these daft people are probably going to be stupid enough to go out and get a back four manager. And when they go out to get a back four manager, we're in the same problem again. Oh, well, he can't play in this back four. Oh, well, he can't play in this position. Oh, we need to get this guy signings, all of that.
So you don't think, so just real quick, so you don't think that if he brings in 5 or 6, not big name players, but just players that can play the profile, you still don't think he's going to be able to improve?
The thing is, CJ, it's like this. It's like I haven't seen anything from him this year, which even should warrant us to back him, if that makes sense.
True.
In terms of how this season has gone and how we have, like, from the moment that he's joined in, all the things that he's done, the things that he said about players, the Rashford treatment, dropping Garnacho, putting Garnacho back into the team, giving Garnacho and Højlund 20 plus games in a row where they scored a total of 3 goals all together, like all those type of things. There's nothing for me to suggest that we should even back him, that we should go out there and get players for him. Because like I said, the season's been a shit show. And I do not want to be in this whole thing where we're just going out and getting players for managers. I think it should be a mix. I think there are certain profiles that we do need to, he's going to be here. Let me just start off by this. He's going to be here. He's not going to get sacked at the start of the season.
You think there's no chance he resigns?
Now, that's a completely different thing, because the way that he's been talking in these press conferences about how the going all of a sudden is getting tough for him, and the culture at the club and stuff needs to be changed. What did you say when you first got here? You said my time needs to be earned here. That all managers who come to big clubs like this need to earn their time. So now at the end of the season, you have gone on to say that the culture at the club is not here, and maybe if this continues at the start of the season, we need to look at different people. Why did you accept the job in the first place? If you knew this was going to be a storm, if you knew that you stepped into a burning house, you did. You stepped into a burning house. You talked about all of these things. And now I just feel like I'm sorry, but you're being a little bitch about it. Like, genuinely, you are being a little bitch about it. Because now all of a sudden, like, we've had all these results and you're just like, oh, I can't fix this and I can't do that. Which, by the way, you are the one who puts out these lineups. When Yoro got hurt, you were there in the dugout acting all sad and shit because he got hurt and he could potentially miss the final. Who played him? Who started him in a game against West Ham where it honestly it didn't matter. The worst part is that we played a strong team and we still lost. And that is honestly the most worrying part about everything. So just to sum it up, there's very, very little faith for me in this manager. I thought, in this burning house where I know what's causing this house to burn, the people upstairs, the players, all of that. I thought maybe this guy steps in and he can, figure out all these problems, call out all these things, and, actually be that type of player who can maybe get us back to where we belong and, start winning games and have that culture back, that mentality back, all of those type of things. But no, if anything, he's made it worse. If anything, he really has made it worse. And now you're seeing, like what Steve said, flawless, I quote that Steve said, that he showed up to a championship fight on short notice. And he knew how this was all going to be. And then he's surprised that he's out there getting beat up. And he wants people to throw in the towel. He's saying that, oh, well, if stuff doesn't change, then get me out of here.
True that.
You need to change all this. So it's one of those type of things where, like, I thought Ruben Amorim could be that one person that I could be like, you know what? I trust you. I trust you to maybe turn things around. I don't trust the board. I don't trust the players. I could maybe trust you. But now even that is not a case. And that is not a scenario. And me and Flawless have been talking about this all the time. With the way that he's moving right now, I don't see him go past October or November. I definitely don't see him at the end of the season next year if it continues like this. And the big job that we have now is like, okay, if now all these concerns about Ruben Amorim are there, what are you guys, Ineos, what are you guys going to do next? Because this was potentially, you told this guy now or never. You forced him to come. And even though, like, I think maybe he's probably, like, it was still his decision to make. If he knew this was all going to be tough, then why accept it? in the first place. But you put all this into Ruben Amorim. You forced him to be here. Now you have to go out there and back him. You have to go out there and buy players for this club, because the last 2 seasons that we've had have been absolutely unacceptable. If Ruben Amorim started off this season with us, we probably would be relegated. And think about that, people. How crazy that sounds. That we probably would have been relegated if Ruben Amorim started off the season with us. So I want this nightmare has been continuing for 2 seasons in a row, and I just want it to end. It's really just that. And Ruben Amorim, I like Ruben Amorim. This is not even a thing where I'm like, sack this guy and all that type of stuff. And I'm not even sitting here saying I want Ruben Amorim out right now. I want him to obviously he needs to be held accountable for all the decisions and stuff that he's made. But also at the same time, I want him to get a window. I want to see what he can if he can turn things around, even though we haven't really seen a lot of managers turn things around in a scenario like this. I think he should be given that. And we'll see. We'll see. But on game number 1 in the Premier League, when we are there in that watch along, because we will be there, all eyes on you, Ruben Amorim. All eyes on the players that you sign. All eyes on how things have improved from last year. I think everybody needs to look at themselves in the mirror heavily in the summer. Heavily in the summer. Absolutely, everyone's been abysmal. And yeah, we have a big task. We have a big task this summer, and our future is genuinely on the line. Genuinely, our future as a club, because these Ineos people are not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, people. Not for a very, very long time. So, yeah,
and you better hope that there is some improvement being made over the summer, and that he actually does get his shit together before it's too late. Because you're absolutely correct that if the championship teams that came up this season were any good, you guys would be in serious danger. And so with Tottenham Hotspur, this is why I feel like you guys got a get out of jail free card, because this is arguably the worst class of championship teams to ever come up. Whereas next season you're dealing with Leeds, which we all fuck Leeds still at the same time, all the time, all the time. But you're also dealing with a Burnley team that actually figured out how to play defensive football. So these are teams that are going to be sound, and better prepared than these other teams that we just saw. So I know we still got a playoff to watch, but still, like, it's going to be a ton different next season. So some of these big 6 teams better fix up, including my own, by the way.
Do you know what? Yeah, sorry, Sheik. You see what Amorim said. As an Arsenal fan, and an Arteta hater, that comment there is very worrying. Very worrying. Yeah, because it's Arteta. Did he not see Man United before he came to Man United? Yeah. Did he not watch them? Yeah. Did he not study the players that he could possibly be taking over? Furthermore, why is he still playing those players?
That's where my issue lies. Because what I will say is, I think he's fully aware of the situation he walked into and how bad we are. What I don't think he realized was how bad the players are until he got up close and personal and been like, oh, like, this is worse than I thought. But then, like you said, the reason why I have no leeway or sympathy in that sense is because you continue to play these players. So therefore, that's on you. You've had enough time here now. That's where I criticize.
And it's also like, you get paid millions, bro. You get paid millions for just simply trying to manage the squad. You're telling me that in 7 months, you still haven't been able to figure out what your strongest 11 is, and who needs to be out there, and what are the players currently that can fit these profiles. And that is the worrying part. Like, there are so many things that are up in the air going into next season. Like, this is actually a general worry for me, is that let's say these players win this Europa League, right? And we win this Europa League or whatever. Garnacho has a good performance. Højlund scores a goal. Bruno, all that type of stuff, right? What is it even to say that he signs players next year, but he's still using these guys? Because he's gonna talk about, oh, well, in a season where we were 16th and 17th all damn year, we found that these guys lifted a trophy for us, and these players turned up in that final. And that is the same thing that happened with Ten Hag last season. Ten Hag was given a chance because he lifted an FA Cup in a shit season, while we have sacked managers before for lifting FA Cups in shit seasons. And again, it's just like, I don't have anything to believe in at this moment. Regarding this whole club, I don't have anything to believe in. I don't know how the board is going to go. I don't know how the players are going to perform. I don't know if like Garnacho and Højlund, just taking an example, I don't think they're going to look back at this season and be like, yo, we actually had an absolute abysmal year. No, they're going to show up the same way they do every single week in, week out, stinking it up, because that's just who they are. And it's our fault because we continue to allow this mentality to be at this club. Last year with Ten Hag, the guy wouldn't drop them. So they became comfortable. They became okay with the fact that they can make mistakes time and time again, because guess what? Ten Hag is going to pick me anyway. And I don't want this case to be with Ruben Amorim as well, where time after time we can drop shit performance week in, week out. I can hit the side netting every single game. I can have a terrible touch every single game. I can, not worry about holding up the ball, this and that. Oh, who cares? Ahmad is on the pitch. He'll do the thing. No. That is something that should not happen at all. And the manager will be at the forefront of that. So I don't know what we're going to again and again. Like, I'm just worried. I'm genuinely very, very worried of how our season is going to go. But the one thing that I do know for sure is that he's not going to be here at the end of the season if things do continue like this. If they continue like this, he could be gone early as October and November. We're currently sitting with a minus 11 goal difference. And we already owed goals from last year. We started off this season with -3. And now we're sitting at minus 11. When people told me that we were going to score, when I said at the start of the season that we were going to score 45 goals, and that's the most that we are going to get, people laughed at me and told me, you're a silly American. You don't know what you're talking about. And look at us now. How many goals do we have right now? How many goals do we have in the league? So again, it's one of those things where, like, I know this was coming. I know this was probably going to happen. Even when Ruben Amorim joined, what were our expectations? I wasn't sitting here with Flawless saying we're gonna reach top 4 and we're gonna get this and that. I was just like, yo, Ruben Amorim, build towards something. Get these players gone. Stop playing them. And make something, like, make a message clear in that dressing room that all the type of shit that you guys did before will not work here anymore. And you're not just going to get chance after chance after chance after having stinker after stinker. This guy wants to talk about mentality and culture at the club. Who's setting the mentality and the culture at the club right now? You have set this mentality. You have set this culture where people just can start week in, week out and have shit performances and they continue to play. You have done this. So I don't want to hear all this. We need to change the culture and we need to change all this and that. You need to change that. Start off with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, because you are the person who been at the front foot for why this season has turned out the way that it has. And I'm not saying it's entirely his fault. I'm not saying that. But there are a lot of things that he could have done to still avoid this run of form, this season that we have had. And we knew we are shit. This team is not good enough to play in a back 3 or a back 4. Forget about all of that. I don't think this team is not fit to be on the pitch. Let me just tell you that. But there are a lot of decisions that you could have made and you haven't done that. And now you're blaming things on the culture. You're blaming things on all of these other intangibles that you can't really control. What can you control is the lineups that you put out, the players that you are starting, where you are playing them, the system, all of those type of things. So that's where I'm at with this guy, man. That's where I'm at with this club. That's where I'm at with this guy. And we have a lot of work to do, man. Like, I can't emphasize this enough, people. We have a lot of work to do. We couldn't get, Ruben Amorim, let's just start off by this. Win me 2 games back to back next season. Let's start off with that. Win 2 games in a row. Because the fact that you can't win 2 games in a row over Wolves, who've won 6 in a row, is absolutely crazy. We played a strong team against 17th place West Ham and got bopped around the park. Wan-Bissaka looked like he was prime Cafu out there. And he never did any of that shit. He never did any of that shit with us. Never. So again, it's just like, yeah, man, I'm fed up, and we have a lot of work to do, man. Lots and lots of work to do. Lots of work to do.
Yeah, we do have
happy birthday to you, brother. Happy
well
birthday,
said, bro. Well said.
Was very, very well said. And in regards to it, I've spoken many times. Any questions you have for me in regards to Amorim, I've spoken in depth, just to add to what Sheik said, because he said a lot about the manager's comments. I keep saying this, the manager's done. The manager's cooked. He don't believe in himself. Hear what he is saying and look at him. All the people, like, forget whether you agree with Sheik, whether you agree with me, wherever you stand, whether you think Amorim needs to be backed, whether you think it's more so on the players, whether you think he's terrible and shouldn't get the final, whether you think it's on the Europa League final, if he wins the trophy, he should still leave. Hear him talk, people. Look at him. That is a defeated man. Look, just watch his interviews, people. Watch it. Don't even click play. Just go to the interview and look in his face. And look at his face. Then when you hear him talk and he's saying things like, the football's bad. When a manager is who his job is to manage, is telling you, hey, the football's bad. I do not know how to change this, is what he's telling you. Because if you hear how he was talking at the start, it was with vim. It was with, he was self-assured. It was, I will change this around. I know the storm's coming. I know it will be tough, but I will change this around. That's no longer what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's no longer what it is. Anyone spamming will be blocked, by the way, people. No time for that. You lot got questions, want to run jokes, cool, but spamming, not with it. As where was I at? So yeah, like hear how he's talking about, if this carries on next season, we need to get different people. It won't happen. That's what he should be saying. If you're self-assured and positive that you are going to change it around, it won't be like that. It won't be like this next season. I will be better. It's a wrap. And this is now on the board. You have employed this man to look at him and go, look at the results on the pitch. Look at the performances. Hear how he's talking and go, he is broken. Steve made the point about the Boxer taking a championship bout on short notice. Managers who have reached the highest level, which he has, are very, very stubborn. They have a self-confidence which sometimes may be over the top. He is not going to say, I am not good enough. But he's saying everything bar that. Reading between the lines. Everyone outside of Gattuso's the only manager I remember actually resigning at a top club and saying I'm not good enough. No manager's going to say that. Whether they believe it or not, they are not going to say that. They'll say other things like he's saying. I'm not that. He's not going to turn around and say, I'm not the guy to turn it around. I am not good enough. But he's saying, hey, if it doesn't get better, we need to see different people. The culture at the club is not right. The football is terrible. Like I said, but it's on the board. But in regards to the final as well, hey, Prom, when you say we'll be fine in regards to improvement, yes. Because we will buy players. I think Manchester United, and that's one thing Ineos have done well. I think we improve. I'm just saying the manager's cooked. That's what I'm saying. Whether you back him or not, he's finished. If we are all ready for, if you're a boxing fan, we're all ready for Crawford and Canelo. They went to Crawford right now and did an interview and said, do you think you can beat Canelo? And he was like, I'm unsure. What would we all say? Or same with UFC. What would we all say?
He's under pressure. That's
what would we all say?
Yeah.
Same way
he's losing.
The next big UFC card that's coming up. If they went to one of the main event fighters and said, do you think you can beat whoever the guy is? And he had any doubts, well, I'm not sure. Any form, we're saying you're losing. That's the manager. He's cooked, is what I'm saying. Forget my opinion on it. He don't believe in himself. So therefore, you're throwing the white towel, man. Do I think Manchester United will be okay, like in regards to overall? Yes, we'll bring in players. That's one thing Ineos have done very well. But I'm saying in regards to Amorim, like it's a wrap, and it's not about people are talking about it's all the players. The players are bad. They're not this bad because no one expected us to be here. Who in the chat expected Manchester United to be 16th on the 14th of April? Please let me know in the chat. Also, a second question to everybody in the chat. Manchester United fans and non-Manchester United fans as well. So this includes everybody. Who expected Amorim when he joined to have failed to have won back-to-back games? Who in the chat also would have failed? Who would have thought that Amorim would have less than a 30% win rate? Who would have thought that PSG in the year of 2025 have beaten more Premier League sides than Manchester United have, excluding the relegation sides? If you're answering yes to any of them, if you're answering yes to any of them, questions, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. Jojo, answer my question, please.
Do you know when you actually say it like that? Yeah.
Wow.
I never thought about it like that. Yeah. I know you're not being terrible, but when you actually say certain things loud, that's when you actually think.
It is. Rome, did you expect us to be 16th? No. Did you expect him to fail to win back-to-back games? As bad as we are, I hear it. Because I know how bad these players are. Nobody expected us to be here, so therefore it's unacceptable. No one expected us to be here, so therefore it's unacceptable. We have beaten one side. So mid-table, Pro, I hear that. And here the thing is, Pro, if we were mid-table, I shut up. All he had to do was come in and steady the ship.
Yes.
Be better. If we were sat 11th with, let's say, 4 more wins. We had 12 more points. I don't know where that puts us in the table. Let's say we had 4 more wins or 5 more wins. We got 12 or 15, and we're sat 10th. I go, all right, Fairs, you steadied the ship. That's all he had to do. It was a sinking ship. All you had to do was just try and patch it up and get us to our destination, and you set the ship on fire. The ship was sinking and you set it on fire. You made the situation worse. No one expected him to be worse than Ten Hag, including myself. So therefore, I have to hold you accountable for that. The only reason why I'm not hammering him out is because I want these players gone first. Let's not get that misunderstood. 100%. They can leave together. I'm cool with that. I just don't want the manager gone, and then it's all focused on the new manager, and then these players get off scot-free. Players first. If you tell me the players go in an ideal world, we win the Europa League and everybody leaves. Treat it like an NBA franchise and blow it up. That's ideally what I want. NBA franchise settings, really and truly. We get rid of the manager, we get rid of all the coaching staff, we get rid of the vast majority of the players, and we blow it up to the point like, right, and I look unrecognizable from the season before. And that's not necessarily all new signings. I'm saying 5-6 new signings, bring through 5-6 youth players and run that with the new manager and see where we're at. That's all it is. And I hear you, Prom, when you say, I'm just saying you got a team that's broke. It takes time to fix, but he's made it worse. Yeah. The team was broke and he made it more broken. You came to my house to fix it because my electric was out. Now I have no water because of you. You made my situation worse.
Flawless. You gotta run that back. Rewind.
I've told you, hey, my house is terrible. I am in darkness. My electric don't work. Come and fix it. And now you come to fix it, and I now have no water. Alongside not fixing my electric, I now have no running water. Not just cold water, just zero water. That's what you've done. All I needed you to do was come and fix my lights. I didn't need you to put down new flooring in my house. I didn't need you to install a fridge or a new TV. I didn't need you to put down fresh flooring or fresh carpet. I didn't need a new bed. I didn't need a couch. I didn't need a new fridge or a new cooker or an air fryer. All I needed you to do was put the lights on in my house. That was it. If he would have put the lights on in my house, you know what I'd be sat here saying? The team's awful. He got us to 12th. We're in the Europa League final. Cool. Let's get him his players. Now I get you better tools to help fix my house. So we can put down good flooring. So we can get nice appliances, air fryer, the new fridge freezer, cooker, etc., etc. Double glazing windows if you want, because it's cold as shit in Manchester. You've made my situation worse. That is on you. Now, is the board terrible? Of course, Ineos is awful. Without doubt. Are they held accountable? Yes. In the scenario I mentioned, they're the landlords. They're also full of shit. But I hired you to do a simple job. Hey, my lights are out. Turn my lights out. And you've left me with no running water and I still have no lights. That is unacceptable. That is on you, because no one expected us to be here. Flawless, you want Amorim to steady the ship and he failed. Do you still want him in the job after the Europa League final? I legit just said there, JT, about it. In the ideal world, I want everyone to leave through the exit door with Europa League winners' medals around the neck. Ideal world, that's what I want. Will that happen? No, because we have incompetent people. Because the fact that the people upstairs can't see that this man is cooked is crazy. And I've been saying this and been saying this. It's literally a mirror match of what happened last year. We was here last season with Ten Hag in the exact same situation. The exact same people. Exact same. Struggling manager. Some were Ten Hag in, some were Ten Hag out. Some people are now Amorim in, some people are Amorim out. Some people are saying he has Ten Hag had a trophy to save his season. Some people are saying Amorim has a trophy to save his season. Some people are saying whether he wins the trophy or not, he needs to leave. No, it's that people. It's literally, they inherited a problem and 12 months later, we're in the same problem. You know why? Because they're the fucking problem. Because they're incompetent. This is why I didn't want these lot in the first place. And it's taken 12 months for people to realize, hey, Ineos is not all that. Flawless, why did you not want Ineos? Because we're in the exact same situation. How you mess up a free hit? Ineos messed up. You inherited a mess. All you had to do was steady the ship, Ineos. Like Amorim. All the board had to do was steady the ship. And I was told about this football structure and CEOs and COOs and technical directors. And we've had our worst season ever in the Premier League. What are we doing here? Free hit. it's 2 a.m. and a girl you like has sent you a you up text. How do you fuck that up? How? How?
Ray.
How? You exactly, and that's what Ineos are. You know what I'm saying? That's what they are, incompetent in that sense, like Ryan is. 16 out of 10 ownership. How you messed that up? How you inherit a problem and then 12 months later we're in the exact same problem? Everything people are saying about Ten Hag, people are now saying about Amorim. We have like I mentioned, the trophy business as well. And yet, what are you lot going to do? Be indecisive with Amorim, and then we're going to get to October, November, December, and then you're going to start seeing the split screens. I've said this, the picture. It's going to be Ten Hag on one side, Amorim on one side. And it'll be Ten Hag's results in the league and where he was positioned, goals, games played, wins, draws, losses, goals scored against points. And Amorim's is going to be on the other side. And if Amorim's is slightly better, the same or worse, it will be, so you sat Ten Hag for this, and Amorim's performing better and you backed him. Just don't Amorim the next guy.
Are you Ineos out like you're Ryan out permanently?
Yes, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
That
Just making sure.
I've planted my flag in the ground on that one. And this shows to show
Making
because
sure.
they've taken their time and been indecisive. All I'm saying is you better have a plan in place for the next guy. Whoever that next guy is, because what's going to happen is we're going to get to October, November. Amorim probably gets sacked. And then who do you go and get? And then what's the crazy part is in 2026, I see us being back here again, where we're talking about the third manager. It might be the FA Cup again that he's looking at. And whoever that manager is to save his job. I'm telling you, man.
You see, Flawless, I hear what you're saying, man. Like, I hear what you're saying because, like, don't get me wrong. Me and TJ, deep down, we're loving this. Yeah, deep down, the child in us are like, thank you. Lord. Finally heard our prayers. You know what I'm saying? You lot are 16. Fair enough. Fair enough, you're 16. Amrin wants to play with 3 at the back. He knows his players can't play 3 at the back, but yet he's still persistent on trying to play 3 at the back. Yeah? The players that he's playing is no good. Don't get me wrong. He has, like I saw a comment, he is working with a broken team. Yeah? But as bad as his team is, they're not 16th bad.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
If you lot was, let's say 12th, 11th, knocking on Europe's door, I can understand that because that's what I kind of see you lot just with this team. But when you said that you can't even string 2 Premier League matches back to back together, yeah, you're telling me that Amron can't defend deeper. You're telling me Amron can't play to the strengths of these players. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be a coach, right? He works with them week in, week out. He's supposed to have done his history on these players. This is why I said before he came to the club, did he not watch these players play? Didn't he see which players play better in which positions? Sometimes you just gotta be like, you know what? Stop your pride, put your pride aside, and just play to the strengths of the players that you have in hand while you have them. Yeah, and then once you have reached your target, literally just your target, getting through the season, not in 16th, then you can start letting players go. Yeah, you know the players that are gonna be out of contracts. You know the players that are gonna be in a 1 year left. So they're the first place to go. You know what I'm saying? And then you know the Rashfords, the Garnachos, the Antonys. You know they're the players that will be next. But it's bad because he let go Anthony and Rashford, but the rest of the trash is still there. Yeah, I understand that you're not going to buy players in the winter transfer. I get that. Just because you don't want to be extorted for one, and 2, he must have a plan. Yeah, I don't know what his plan is, but he must have a plan. But what I'm trying to say is, as bad as you lot are, why the hell is he persistent on playing the same formation with the same players that's failed? Look at
foolishness.
Let me break it down. If I'm dating a girl for 20 years of my life, yeah, and she cheated on me numerous times every other month, and I'm still with her, shame on me, right?
Yes,
that's what it seems like with Flawless's team right now. Yeah, and just know that he's also a Tottenham supporter as well. You get me? I have to slide that in somewhere. Yeah,
it's true.
But when a team or when a manager is persistent on playing these players, I'm sorry, yeah. I thought, you know what, yeah, when Amron came, I thought, shit, Man United's back, because I saw streamers smiling and Flawless, his teeth is grinning and all of that.
Yeah,
That
I
grin
was
went.
over the moon.
That grin went, yeah. And did you know what?
Yeah, where the celebration Instagram posts?
I don't know
Has
who's worse.
disappeared.
I don't know who was worse.
Disappeared, yo, found a new level of hell. That's what it was. We was in hell, and Amarin found the trap door and said, hey, there's new levels, and we opened the trap door and went down like it was a cartoon. I'm telling you.
Hey, mate, did you know what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying this a bit too soon, but I don't know who was worse, Eric Ten Hag or Amarin.
Amarin.
You know what I'm saying?
Even a
Because
debate.
I understand that, because you like the only
So
thing
crazy.
that any Man United idiot could tell me is that Amarin didn't have a preseason. I get that, but he's had enough. He came in what is it? With 6 matches played, 6 or 7 matches played.
And sorry to cut you off in regards to it as well. Like, the reason why I'm not hearing about mid-season, look at what Eddie Howe did with Newcastle and look what Emery did with Aston Villa. Look at the two improvements those two managers made with those teams and go and check them squads. Them squads were terrible. Go look at Newcastle's team when Eddie Howe took over. Go look at Aston Villa's team when Emery took over. Not how Newcastle look now, not their players now. We all have Google. You can literally go Google when Emery joined Aston Villa, and you can Google also when Eddie Howe joined Newcastle, and then find the squads those two had. Them squads are terrible. Whether they're better than Manchester United's or not is not the conversation I'm having. However, how come Emery was able to improve Villa, and how come Howe was able to improve Newcastle United then? How?
I'll take you one step further. Look at the Wolves. Look at Wolves.
Wolves.
You both lost your manager and got a new around the same time. Yeah. And I swear you lot was like, even though it was 4 or 5 games in, but you was like 10 or 14 points ahead of them. Look at you lot now and look at them now.
Yeah.
So like I said, like what I was basically saying is that, was he the right appointing, or should he have just let Eric Ten Hag do the rest of the season?
It was dreadful, Warrior J, and there was no chance. To clarify, Emery made one signing. I'm going to check with Newcastle. Emery signed a left back, and they went from 17
Newcastle's
to
team
7.
like they had Lascelles and like Matt Target and all these guys.
I don't think they made any signings. I don't think they made any signings either. I don't think so. I think it was the season after.
Isak wasn't even there. Like Chris Wood was their striker. Callum Wilson and all these guys.
And it wasn't the Chris Wood we see now. Let's clarify that. He got 2 goals that season. Like, let's not do that.
I gotta go. Flawless. I'm sorry, I gotta go, but I want to make one point, and it's a point that's been made before, but I think it'll rub salt in the wound even more. Ask yourself if you had kept or put Ruud van Nistelrooy in as a permanent manager through the end of the season.
Yeah,
I think I still think you do better. And he would just calm it down, play basic football. The team is shit, but you have quality players enough to at least play basic football and get Premier League wins and get 12th or 11th. That's the worst. That's the worst part about this. And it's the football you were playing under Van Nistelrooy. Yeah, was it pretty? No, but were you getting wins? Yes. So I think that even makes it even worse. But anyway. I'll be here to dance on your grave either way. 16th forever for United. Anyway, but
hey, shout out your channel, TJ. Let them know what you got coming up the rest of the weekend. Everything.
Flawless, Chic. Please win that European final, please. TJ Warren TV. TJ Warren TV. I will be live again. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, we'll be live again on Friday. American Idiots will be previewing the Newcastle match that does not matter with Strasbourg Steve. You know the vibe. See ya. And then obviously American Waffle on Mondays. And I'll be here. I never run. I'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Whenever these two are here, I will be here. So big up the chat. Big up everybody. Appreciate a sub. Get Flawless to 15K. The most underrated creator in this space. It is not even fucking close. We will see you later.
Blessings, man. TJ, big up. Appreciate it. Make sure you lot subscribe to TJ Warren TV. Links in the title. So that's why I'm not hearing it when I watch them squads, even with, because man is saying Bruno G joined. Even with Bruno G, He was an unknown commodity at the time like that. That squad still isn't good. Is it better with him in? Yes. But Eddie Howe improved them is the point I'm making. There was an improvement of Newcastle. Same way Emery at Villa is the prime example. Awful squad. They were 17th, battling relegation with Gerrard. Nobody looked at that team and went, it's a European team. And then obviously they kicked on with more signings afterwards. That's the point I'm making. And I'm not even asking for improvement. I'm asking for him to steady the ship. And you couldn't even do that. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? My electric was off and you left me with no water. And still no lights.
And it's also like those managers, just like what you said, right? Those managers did enough and proved enough for them to be backed, for them to get money, and for them to pick their players if they do want to pick their players. And when I was saying earlier that I don't have a lot to believe in when it comes to Ruben Amorim, again, it's this. And listen, look, I've seen a lot of comments where people are saying, oh, it wasn't, he's walked into this and Ineos didn't back him, all that type of stuff. But again, it's like, okay, steady the ship. Show some signs of improvement. I can't even say one single player, even Ahmad, because I knew Ahmad is a good player. It's not like I'm saying that he's improved to a great level, but there's not a lot of players that I can be like they've improved under this manager. Where I'm like, and if we were to bring one, and this will be a little touchy subject for some people, Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo was one that I can also bring up. This guy has played in the 8. He's played in the 6. He's played as a false 9. He's played in the 10. He's played in. Manager has tried to play him in all these different positions. However, he's still not been able to figure out how do I get the best out of Kobbie Mainoo. And again, it's a worry. It's a big worry. Like, these are the problems that we are going through, people, as a club. And again, it's just our future. Like, the future to me is such an unknown. Such an unknown. We had a manager before who was talking about the bigger picture and all that bullshit. And now we have a manager right now who's saying, culture, this and that. We probably might need different people at the club. Going into a season after the shit show season that we've had and all the decisions that he's made, he now is saying that, okay, well, if the culture doesn't change, maybe we need to have somebody else. So
even on top of that, I'm just looking at Newcastle. So it's Bruno G, Chris Wood, Dan Burn, Trippier, Matty Target, and Longstaff went back because they ended alone. Bruno G, yeah, I'll give you. Chris Wood, nobody rated at that time. Dan Burn, nobody rated highly at that time when he was at Brighton.
Nobody.
Trippier, yes, he is quality, and no one was looking at Matty Target or Matty Longstaff and going, yes, they are players. If that was United's window, so that caliber of player, so let's say we signed a Bruno G equivalent, a Chris Wood equivalent, etc., no one would be saying that's a good window. People would still be backing Amorim and say, oh, you went back properly. No one looked at that Eddie Howe window in January and Newcastle and went, whoo, yeah, they spent money. What a window that was. Fire. Sorry, go on, Dante.
And I was going to say, even a Trippier, even if you lot bought Trippier, because when you talk about Man United signed big players or the best of the young, the best of the youth. Trippier was supposed to be over the hill Trippier. Just wanted to come back to England for his family.
No, Trippier won a league title with Atletico Madrid. Like, he won a league title with Atletico Madrid. He proved himself. Experienced player. Someone who, yes, you can say was still at the latter stages of his career, but he had shown something in La Liga by winning a league title with them. So it's one of those type of things where it's like, again, it's our recruitment's been absolutely shit. I don't want these guys to be picking players week in week, like, selecting all that type of stuff, all the scouting and stuff that they say and do. And this manager himself, remember there was a report where he mentioned a scouting website. I was talking about databases and that. How about you look up this? I don't have a scouting website that I go to all the time, but it doesn't take me more than 5 minutes to look up that Garnacho and Haaland have scored a total of 3 goals together in like 40 games played between them. It doesn't require a scouting system. It doesn't require all these websites and all of that shit. It doesn't require for me to go to a scouting website to see that Garnacho had a 5.9 shot conversion rate and you continue to play him. So it's one of the it's this guy talks a big game, He talks a big game that I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. These guys shouldn't be good enough, and Garnacho's not good in the final third, like all of that type of stuff. You talk a big game, but when it comes to actually performing on the pitch, what do? You sit there biting your teeth because Yoro got injured. Who the fuck played him in the first place? Who? And you're sitting there talking about like, oh well, Hoyland's not this and that and all that type of stuff. You continue to play them, bro. You continue to do. And look at some of the other decisions that he made. Heaven, when we brought him in January alongside Cheeto Obi Martin, he put him in the team because we had injuries, right? Because we had quote unquote injuries. And it turned out that he actually is a good player. That he can actually, I can sit here and say that he actually should start, that he can start in this team. But what did you do with Cheeto? In games in the Premier League where it doesn't matter and you can rest your players, Xerxes got injured. You didn't play Cheeto. You took them to Spain. Don't forget this as well. When we were talking about the squad last week and everybody was asking questions, oh, why is Cheeto in the Europa League squad? It was because he wanted all of them to train in Spain. And then what did they do? He didn't play any of them. Fredrickson, we saw him for one game and we were like, bye-bye. You're not going to get a start at any time ever again. Lindelof and Maguire are going to play over you. So, again, it's just one of those type of things. I keep reiterating this point. There's nothing with this manager for me to look forward to. Nothing. Because he's gotten team selections wrong. He's gotten all the things that he said wrong about we need to change mentality, that these players ain't good enough in the final third, this and that, stats, all of that bullshit. Look at this stat. We are 16th. You have won 6 games this season, and you have, I don't know how many you've lost. You probably lost 10 or whatever, but you have won 6 games in the Premier League this season. 6 games. And
it's crazy. It's crazy, Sheik.
Yeah.
He's been here more months than he's won games. He's been here 7 months.
He's been here 7 months. He's been here 7 months and he's won.
So he's been here more months than he's won Premier League games.
Generally, you're testing about
patience. And people want us to wonder why we are saying what we are saying, and yet still, I don't give him leeway. I just despise the players more to the point where I'm like, hey, get the players gone. Look at Doncey's face. He's astonished by this.
Yeah.
He's more astonished than I was when we went 3-0 up against Bilbao. He's lost for words. And Doncey's like me. He don't shut up. He a talker. I can't believe what we're saying. It sounds so bad. It sounds like we are making up stats.
We're not.
Like someone said about reality. Like somebody said before in the chat, I didn't want to interrupt you mid-flow when you mentioned the relegation. If we carried on like this, it is relegation form, people. When you get 1 win in a month, like on average, 1 win a month or 1 win in a month and a half, that is relegation form. What are we talking about here? Take away Ten Hag's early points and look at I believe we have less points than games. Yeah. It's like 24 games played, like 23 points. That is relegation form, people. If you total that up and keep averaging that out and go up to 38 games, that's about 37, 36 points. Let me check the table now. What are Ipswich on? Because I believe they are 18th. So Ipswich are currently sat 18th. Lucky for us, they're that terrible. That they're on 22 points. But that is still unacceptable is the point I'm making. That we are talking here that it is relegation, because you don't necessarily have to, you don't get relegated because it's relegation form. It's just worry. If you win 1 game in 10, guess what? That is relegation form. You might just have accumulated more points beforehand. Wolves were in relegation form for a long time. And then they picked up their form when they started winning 6 games in a row.
They went above us in the table. And they went above us in the table.
Wolves were battling at one point with Ipswich and Leicester. They were close. And they managed to pick up points. So I don't think people realize, again, understand, and this is why Sheik is fuming. This is why I'm like, treat it like an NBA franchise. Wow. Blow it up. And someone mentioned, big up to my guy Prom in the chat every single time, said something about the Europa League. I give him props for the Europa League, 100%. I give him props. I give the players props. If we win that, props to you. Salute to you. I will applaud you for that, because that is a great achievement, but it doesn't bypass or overlook or overshadow the season. If we win the Europa League, you know what it is? It's a great ending to a shit film. So the film was awful throughout. Plot was awful. Beginning of this film was awful. Middle of the film was awful. But you know what? The ending was fire. And more often than not, when that happens in the film, you go, you know what? That film was decent. Infinity War was very much like that. Yeah. The beginning and the middle was very good. But the ending is what you remember. Because the ending was fire. So it's probably my favorite Marvel film ever. It was that fire. But you don't just get to exclude the Premier League because you won the Europa League. Same way, if we went out in the group stages of the Europa League and finished high in the Premier League, I go props to you for the Premier League. But our Europa League was terrible. We finished 34th.
Bro, speaking of Infinity War, I'm sitting here thinking I had the gauntlet, so I can snap all these players out of this fucking club. Like, genuinely sick and tired of them, bro. Like, have you? Just a question to you guys in the chat. Flawless makes top content, right? Have you guys ever heard him say on before a stream that, oh guys, I can't bring out my best content today because I don't have a 4K camera and I don't have a dual monitor setup? Have you ever heard him say any of those type of things? No. You work with what you have. There's nothing that you have proved to us as United fans that we should back you and that you need to get your players and all that type of stuff. If Ancelotti came in tomorrow, if any of these top managers, Inzaghi, come in tomorrow and they told me that I need to get my players, cool, I hear it. Because of all the shit that you've done before you got here, because of the CV that you do have. And I'm not saying Ruben Amorim's not been a successful manager. What he's done for Sporting is very good, considering they haven't won a league title for 16 years, and then they won like 2 or 3 in like 4 years. Very good. But you're coming here and you're talking about where arguably you could say some of the players that we have performed better than the Sporting teams that you had. And the setup of when you started at Sporting right now with what you had at United is technically better. So why is there that we're hearing that I need to have the best of the best in order for things to turn around? Why is that? You don't hear me saying this. You don't hear any content creator. You don't hear Saeed say this, that I need the best setup and I need everything. I need like the best camera out there, Sony, this and that. I need the best speakers because I can't hear you guys properly. I need the best headphones because I can't hear you guys properly. No, you work with what you have. And as much as the way that we had, put this manager on a pedestal before he got to this club, on top of that, because we all sat here thinking that he was going to be better than Ten Hag, but he's turned out to be horrifically worse. Like the whole decisions that he made about, like, I'm going back and this is all just like getting to me. The way that, and I will say this also first, Rashford needed to leave the club. It was due time for him to go away from the club. But the way that he treated Rashford, not even including him in starting 11s and all that type of stuff, but then you treat Garnacho and Højlund this way, absolutely turns around whatever you were trying to do there. If you're trying to send a message to us or to the board, it all goes down the gutter because you didn't do that with players who have been worse players. You were supposed to come in here and set an example. You were supposed to be that person to be like, okay, this shit is not going to continue anymore. But you enabled it. You allowed it again and again and again. You enabled it.
And the results follow that. But let me get to the super chat before we do indeed close out. Soccer Junkie, big up for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, I want players and coaches gone in the summer, even when we win Europa. This is completely unacceptable. United better start acting like a big club again. Appreciate the super chat. Much appreciated. And in regards to it, I hear you, Soccer Junkie, and with that. And I didn't mention it back to the Europa League final because obviously Amorim's going to be a hot topic as well. Yoro trained and was pictured and videoed. He was training, but he was training alone. Hopefully he can be fit. De Ligt, I'm unsure on, because this is what the manager said on De Ligt and Yoro. I don't know if they're going to be available. We'll try and push for the final matches. All players want to play in the final real bad. And I hear that, and I'm hoping. I reckon Yoro will be. De Ligt, I don't know. On a positive note for Manchester United, Kulusevski being out, I think is massive. He's one of their players I look at and go, he's an X-factor player. He's a player that genuinely worries me because I do rate him. And he can do something in the final third. Not only can he create for others, he can create for himself as well. I think Kulusevski is a very, very good player. And I do rate him highly. And I believe we have more X-factor players than them. Hence why we'll win the game. So I'm looking at that and I go, fair enough. But yeah, that's on pretty much on Yoro and also on De Ligt as well. I don't think there's any more. Xerxes, I know he was saying he might try and get back, but that's it. But done. I know you got to jump, my G. Floor's yours, man. Anything you want to say before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to say, bro, my pleasure. I mean, it's been a pleasure. Sheik, happy birthday, my brother, yeah?
Appreciate it, bro.
People's like, we need to get Sheik to 1,000 real quick. Yes. You hear what I'm saying? He's a good brother. He's one of my mud brothers, yeah? It's unfortunate he's a Man United fan, but guess what? Yeah, we're happy that they're 16 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? They're literally 16 out of 10. How ironic is that?
The irony that Manchester United are 16 out of 10. The irony.
Can I just say, The two girls below us are looking 16 out of 10s today, both of them.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Yo, the funniest thing is, I'm saying, brother, about our season. I've been saying, brother, what is that, brother, about our season and about our team and about our
16
club?
out of 10, yo, it's crazy work. Big up Beijing Pops in the chat as well. But go on, carry on, Duncy.
But people, please like and subscribe. Man United, yeah, I'm talking directly to you. Yeah, I'm talking directly to you. I don't give a flying fuck how your season has gone. I don't even care what happens after next week. Do not let Tottenham get that dub. Yeah. Do not let Tottenham get that dub. Yeah. If you lot have ever, even just a small bit of liked me, yeah, enjoy the madness that I go on, yeah. You lot pray to the football gods, yeah, and tell them, yeah, agenda, keep Tottenham, yeah, where they are. You know what I'm saying? No trophy, flawless. Just remember, I said you lot were going to be in the final.
You
just
did say
remember,
that. Someone said that to me earlier.
This on my brothers too. Yeah.
To everyone, let me say that to Duncy, to Prom who said it. There was many others in the chat. I called that wrong. Everyone who said United were getting through that semi-final past Bilbao, hey, I called that wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong.
I've been saying that since Sociedad.
Duncy, Prom, everyone else who said it, you know who you are. Hey, you lot called that spot on. Plaudits. I can only give credit. Give credit for that.
That's all I say. My last thing, win. And if someone finds Tony, shout me. Bless up, people.
Blessings, man. Every
love,
time,
Donty. Love to you, bro. Every
single time, man. Every single time. Hey, Sheik, shout out your channel. Let them know what you got coming up, all that good stuff. And Dazzle, I did start some of your comments, but we went off on tangents. I see you, man. You're a very smart individual. Don't ever get it misunderstood. And yes, to nephew, I am doing both NBA games. I'm doing Celtics Knicks. I know that's tipped off. I'm going to promote that in a second. And the T-Wolves and Warriors. Yes, T-Wolves Warriors as well.
Warriors. Yeah.
For both those games, yes, we will be doing on the playback. But Flaw's yours, Sheik.
Yeah. Look, first of all, I just want to say to everyone, including you, Flawless, everybody in the chat as well, like, I don't think I could have had any better birthday. Like, I think I've been overwhelmed with love today, overwhelmed with support. Everybody, like, I feel grateful. I feel very, very blessed that I have this great community around me and all of that type of stuff. And yeah, man, I'm actually lost for words, and I will forever remember this birthday. Genuinely, I will forever remember this birthday, because people don't have to, people don't have to do all these things, but the fact that they do it for you just means a lot. And I want to start off with that, of course. And yeah, Sheik TV people, I had a stream today, a birthday stream. Very, very good stream. I absolutely enjoyed that stream. It's like been one of my best streams in a while. Everyone was there. I don't think there's any other way I could have spent this birthday without having all my family and all these people around. So thank you for everybody who showed up on that stream. Thank you if you were just watching, if you dropped a like, all that type of stuff. Trust me, your support does not go unnoticed. Like, I watch every single thing, and I see all the different ways that you guys do support me and support everybody else. And I can't say it more than enough. So thank you guys for giving me, honestly, one of the best days that I've had in a very, very long time. And that's to everyone, people in the chat. Continue to support Flawless the way that he does. Like, I say this so many times, I would not be here if it wasn't for Flawless. Like, Flawless put that belief. He did all of those things for me. So I wouldn't be here without a Flawless. I wouldn't be here without all of you guys. So continue to support all of us like the way that we do. And this is just the beginning. This is just a start. We have a lot of other celebrations to have in the future in terms of our growth as content creators. And we're going to be there. And we're going to look back at all these days where we were sitting at, all these different numbers in terms of subscribers. And we're going to look back at those days, and we're going to be like, what a great time it was, and what a great journey it was. So big up to everyone. Thank you, of course, Flawless, for having me on. Sheik TV is where you can find me. I am on the road to 1K, and we are getting there very, 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 very soon. Sheik TV, road to 1K. Go check out the birthday stream. I did a Mud Brothers stream yesterday. I know there's a lot of you in the chat who don't like Arsenal Football Club. Doncy and Eli were there. We conducted this whole like funeral thing. So definitely go check it out. It is absolute jokes. And yeah, man, keep supporting everyone. Like, love to everyone. That's all I can promote. Love, love, love to everyone. And yeah, man, keep supporting everyone, man. Love to you.
Happy birthdays. More happy birthdays in the chat for Sheik again, whether you wished him a happy birthday or not. Make sure you subscribe.
I think your mic's like cutting out a little bit, Flawless. Can't really
hear you. Because this was another one. We better now. Should
Yeah,
be
yeah,
all
better
right.
know. Yeah, better know.
All right,
Yeah,
make sure you lot wish happy birthdays again to Sheik. Subscribe to Sheik TV. Link is in the title. Subscribe to TJ Warren TV. Link is also in the title. Subscribe to both. Prime, are you about in 5 minutes? Because if not, if you are, I'm gonna ring you. Let me know, Prime. Speaking of that as well, make sure you please subscribe here. I know it's probably less now than the 117 subscribers you can see across the bottom of the screen, because we're 117 subscribers away from 15,000. So hit that subscribe button. Road to 15,000. The countdown continues on Sarcasm City TV, people.
Come on,
We're
guys.
gonna keep the content rolling, like Sheik said as well. So please run up the likes, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget as well, people, this show, all the other shows you see on the YouTube channel, apart from watch alongs, fan calling shows, and the gaming content, are available on all audio platforms. So if you prefer to listen to your podcast audio only, maybe you have us on in the background, maybe you're working, maybe you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're driving, you're going for a walk, you might be going for a jog, whatever the case may be, go to Spotify, type in Sarcasm City TV, and hit the follow button and 5-star us on there. That's Sarcasm City TV on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast, or you iPhone users, it's the same. SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to podcasts as well. And on top of that, I know a lot of information, but you're very intelligent people. Playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV. That's where we're heading right now. The New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics. That game 5 is going on right now, people. So we're going to be heading over to the playback, going live in about 2 minutes. That's playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV, or just download the playback app from your app store, people. And not only do you get NBA watch-alongs over there, Premier League, Champions League, Europa League, boxing content, UFC, Formula One, etc., all over there on the playback. Let me actually drop it on the screen as well. That's www.playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV, people. That's www.playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV is right there on the screen. And then we back outside of them. Yes, the app is free, Dazzle. Just to let everyone know, the playback app is absolutely free. You download the app for free. You create an account for free. The same way you watch and comment on YouTube, it's the exact same on playback. So this is what it will look like, people. Let me show you lot on the screen. This is what the playback will look like. This is what it looks like on desktop. It will look very similar when you're on your phone or whatever the case may be. So you'll see us on the screen, and then there's the playback, and you can watch that. If you have an NBA League Pass, you can use that to watch the game with us for free. I'm also giving out VIP passes for certain games, so you can watch for absolutely free as well. But you don't have to be an NBA fan. We do football watch-alongs over there, like I mentioned, people. So please head over there as well. Prime, what you telling me you about, you joke, man? Let me know. And yeah, how many likes are we on? Did we even hit 100? That's 70 likes. Still over 200 of you lot in here, man. Girls up to 100 likes. Again, hit the subscribe button. We are going to redirect over to Lee Gunner. I believe he's doing one of his regular emergency streams. And look at what he said. If you think this stream is mad, the playback is on another. Yes, over the Sarcasm City TV. See the YouTubers. Nice buildings, clean streets, clean gardens. You know what I'm saying? No crime. You can walk the streets calm. Hey, the playback's the hood, man. You know what I'm saying? It's
like Sarcasm City TV at night. Like,
yes,
you know, like Gotham City through the day, no criminal activity. You don't see Batman around and all that type of stuff. But at night, it's when all the criminals are around. And, you know, chaos is just, it's just chaos everywhere. So, yeah, definitely pull up, man. Definitely pull up. Go follow on the playback, people. Go follow on the playback.
So, yeah, big up. Love to everyone that has locked in. We're redirecting to Lee Gunner. So, just put Sarcasm City TV raid in Gunner's chat. Big up to all the members in the chat. Big up all the moderators, or the regulars, or the new people. Big up Soccer Junkie again for the super chat as well. So, big up. Love to everyone that's locked in. See you lot on the playback in about 5 minutes. And this has been the Manchester United Arsenal podcast. Mandem United pod meets the Gunner Talk from the Arsenal pod, live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in.